Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending our presentation. My name is Devin,
My name's Antonio.
I'm Vishal.
and today we will be discussing Google's dominance over user data and how the sale of Chromium may affect the data industry. This presentation is for ISDA 110, taught by Professor Christensen. In this presentation, we will discuss Google's tight grip on data and its implication for both users and developers alike. We will explore how this data is used by Google, including privacy and security concerns related to its usage, and then discuss how the sale of Chromium will affect the future of data analysis. Our first topic is data. In 2023, Google's parent company Alphabet generated 77% of its total revenue from advertising, equating to nearly $238 billion. All of this is powered by data. Google captures this data primarily through two methods, through search queries and through the browser Chromium. Together, these two products simultaneously provide Google with vital insights into user behavior and enable Google to maintain control over this data pipeline. Google search is so important to their business model that in 2023, Google paid $23.6 billion to its partners to use Google as their default search engine. Their investment has paid off as Google enjoys extremely high market saturation, with 90% of all internet-connected devices using Google Search as their search provider. The Mozilla Foundation, the developers of Firefox, release a report each year named the Internet Health Report that aims to gauge the health of the internet across 5 different metrics: safety, openness, digital inclusion, web literacy, and decentralization. For 2018, they reported differences in market shares among several search engines. The results are shocking, with Google accumulating 87.1% market share, with their closest competitor Bing only managing to achieve 5.8%. The results on mobile devices are even more staggering. Here we see Google leading in market share at 95%. Google's second method of data dominance is Chromium. Initially released under the free and open source software licensing, Google's web browser has skyrocketed to 65% of all internet users. This proliferation has partly been enabled by the open source nature of Chromium, with many other browsers like Microsoft Edge or Brave utilizing its framework. Chromium's high market share allows unprecedented access to user data by enabling this collection directly from users. Additionally, their bottoms-up approach to data aggregation allows them to control web standards and offer a seamless ecosystem that entices companies to advertise on their platform. This, along with their search engine dominance, gives Google a competitive advantage over other companies through tight integration with user data.
Okay, the next topic is about privacy and security. So Google Chrome is the most widely used web browser, plays a significant role in how user data is collected, managed, and protected. Its integration with Google's extensive services have raised several privacy and security concerns. Chrome serves as a channel for Google to accumulate a vast amount of user data. By default, it collects information such as browsing history, search queries, interactions with websites. This data is utilized to enhance user experience and refine the services Google has to offer. However, this allows Google to perform targeted advertisements as this enables precise user profiling. The extent by which Chrome collects user data has led to concerns about potential misuse or exploitation. Instances like the data speed breach in 2019, where the data of over 4 million Chrome and Firefox users was compromised, demonstrates such a situation. Chrome has access to so much important personal data, such as personally identifiable information, corporation information, medical records, GPS location, genetic profiles, bank and credit card information, and more. This underscores the risks associated with centralized data collection. Google's business model heavily relies on targeted advertising, with Chrome playing a huge role in achieving this. Chrome's perfected browser data collection allows for super personalized ads, which raises concerns about user privacy. This super personalized advertising makes many users question the ethics of this, which can lead to feelings of surveillance and intrusion. Chrome's dominance in the browser market also has implications for user privacy because this limits the availability or practicality of using alternative browsers, which might offer enhanced privacy protection features. The centralization of this huge amount of user data lying in one company's infrastructure poses significant security risks. A breach could have widespread consequences, exposing sensitive user information for the majority of the people who browse the internet, since the vast majority of people use Google Chrome. Estimates state that Google Chrome holds around 65% of the browser market share. Chrome's integration with Google's suite of services creates an ecosystem that subtly discourages the use of alternative services. This ecosystem consists of things that almost everyone uses, such as Gmail, which facilitates the use of other widely used applications, such as Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets, Google Forms, and Google Drive. This ecosystem of applications makes it challenging for users to explore other platforms, effectively limiting the ability of users to choose services that might align better with their privacy preferences.
Hey guys, in this section, we're going to be talking about developer impact. So in this subsequent section, we're going to be exploring the Department of Justice's proposed sale of Google Chrome and the profound implications it holds. Our discussion will focus on three areas: the rationale behind this landmark antitrust move, its impact on developers, and how Chrome's evolution, particularly the shift from Manifest v2 to v3, has shaped the developer ecosystem. This is not just a story about market competition, but it's a turning point for how browsers, data, and innovation intersect in this new digital economy. Let's start with the Department of Justice's case. Google has long been a dominant force in the browser market, with Chrome capturing over 63% of global market share. Safari, the next largest player, holds just 20%. This dominance allows Chrome to act as a pipeline, feeding Google's vast advertising and search ecosystems. Antonio and Devin talked about this earlier. Chrome collects user data at scale, which reinforces its monopoly in targeted ads and search rankings. The DOJ sees this as a critical choke point in the market, and by proposing the sale of Chrome, they aim to break this monopoly up and foster competition. And the goal is simple: create a level playing field for other browsers and developers. But this raises some critical questions for us today. What happens to Chrome's ecosystem under new ownership, right? When it's not under Alphabet's ownership? And how will developers adapt to this shift? So let's talk about developers now. Chrome has been the go-to browser for creating and deploying web extensions. And I'm sure you guys have used this before, like ad blockers and stuff like that, and analytics tools and whatnot. I use a read blocker, so that's for like reading articles really well. So yeah, so they're very, very good at creating a marketplace for these extensions, and it's the go-to place for developers. And let's look at data access policies. Under Google, developers have had a clear, albeit increasingly restrictive, guidelines on how to access and when to use user data. A new user can redefine those policies, either tightening restrictions or opening up new possibilities. For example, ad blockers and some of these other extensions that you guys use rely heavily on data collection, might need to rewrite their entire code base. And second, let's look at API changes. Chrome's APIs are central to how developers create these extensions. And a new owner can overhaul these APIs, right? If Chrome gets sold, then they can rewrite these developer policies. Just how kind of similar analogy is like how Twitter got bought, their API, they uppriced it like thousands of dollars. And it used to be dirt cheap before, but now since they got bought, the API is much, much more expensive. So that could happen with this case. Finally, adaptation costs. Developers will need to navigate this transition and potentially rewrite code bases, as I said before, and adopt new practices that the new seller might adopt, right? But there's also new opportunity here for a more competitive ecosystem, which is what the DOJ wants. So let's look at the manifest change. So to understand a lot of the challenges that developers face today, we'll need to look back at Chrome's ch evolution, right? Google has steadily increased restrictions on how developers access browser data, and they cite security and performance issues as priorities. The most significant change in the transition is from Manifest v2 to v3. Manifest v3 introduces stricter security measures, such as disallowing remotely hosted scripts. While this reduces risk like malware, it forces developers to include all scripts in the extension package, and this complicates updates to extensions. Another change is the deprecation of the web request API, which is very, very important in developing extensions, and this is replaced by declarative net request. And this severely limits what extensions like ad blockers can do. And for developers, this represents a lot of technical challenges, but a lot of philosophical and product challenges as well, right? Like balancing user security with the need for developing more interesting features for them. And historically, Chrome has shifted from being a highly flexible platform to a more controlled one. This trend reflects broader concerns about privacy and security. However, the DOJ's proposed sale can reshape this trajectory entirely. Under new ownership, we could either see a rollback of these restrictions or a more tightly controlled environment. And this raises the question, will Manifest v3 remain the standard, or will a new sale or new leadership drive a completely different direction for extension development?
To summarize, Google's integration of Chromium and Search grants unparalleled control over user data, raising privacy and security concerns. Extensive data collection highlights the need for proactive measures to protect user privacy. The Department of Justice's push for competition aims to reshape the browser market, impacting data policies, APIs, and developer innovation. And that concludes our presentation on Google's dominance over data. We hope you guys enjoyed, and we'd like to thank you all for being here.
Thanks.
Thanks.